There's been so much change in such a short matter of time because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Brands are working smarter and harder to figure out how to adapt to the new environment, and marketers are figuring out new ways to connect with audiences. Even though people are stuck at home, that doesn't mean that just because they're physically isolated, that they're also socially isolated as well. People are spending more time than ever on social media right now. And the other thing to note is that trust is at an all-time high in terms of value. There's so much information out there. There are updates happening by the minute around the pandemic and how it's developing and affecting our lives. And so people are looking for reliable sources of information. So to no surprise, the WHO has really emerged as one of the leading influencers in the world as a result. And I personally think it's very important for brands to understand some of the best ways to connect with their audiences at this time. There are a lot of wrong ways to do it, and it's key for brands to really focus not on advertising to their audience, but really to build meaningful connections. Personally, I'm inspired with how businesses have been adapting, seeing how restaurants have shifted to delivery. I actually heard today that companies that normally supply food to restaurants are now shifting to focusing on consumers. So it's amazing to see how everything's been adapted. But just some notes from a marketing standpoint on how to build meaningful connections. One, really understand how your brand fits into people's lives at this time. Things aren't normal, of course, and it's important to understand where you really fit in and what sort of changes in consumer behavior have happened that affect the way your brand is used or perceived. What's important here is just avoid shoehorning your brand into the conversation inorganically. The next is humanize and relate. There's so much happening right now. You want to make sure that people really understand that you're human too, or that there are people behind your brand or your company. And so making sure that audiences understand that you as a company, you as an organization are made up of people going through the same thing is really key, and that you're trying to do your best to cope with the situation and help those that you serve and your customers. And the last one is just being really mindful of your brand message. I can't tell you how many bad examples are out there of brands just being completely tone deaf. Understand again what's happening out there. Understand how people are affected. Don't try to go on with your business as if nothing has changed. Really understand how do you adapt this and tailor your messaging, your approach to the changing consumer behavior and being mindful of what people are going through. I think these are some of the key takeaways and the high level overview on what to do in your marketing efforts as we work to moving forward together as a community, as an economy, as a country, and really, as humans in general. So thank you very much, and reach out if you have any questions to us.